Hello guys, Sven here bringing you week 5 of the YCL. As you can see, we have a post-com. We're taking on Incog and the Boston Cyndaquils. We're currently sitting at 4-0. I believe Incog is at 1-3, but he has a very scary team with ones such as Dondozo, Iron Valiant, Cyclosaur, says Shedtail is legal since we've been abusing it with Orthworm. And Dondozo. Dondozo I don't break well at all. And yeah, his Terra captains are I don't remember. He only brought the Tauros Padilla Fire as his Terra captain. He had 3. I think he had a Venomoth and another low tier as well, but they didn't come to the battle. I played this battle a week ago when I was away. I was back at my parents' house. I didn't have a computer, so I couldn't record. So shoutouts to Incog for sending me this replay, and we're gonna play it. So here we see Incog's team. It was mainly what I expected. Maybe 1 or 2 months, not exactly what I expected. So our plan was to hazard stack because his only removal was Cyclosaur on his entire roster. So the point was to hazard stack and then not Terra the Skeledirge for as long as possible to block the spin and set up webs, spikes. I had toxic spikes as well on the Spite Ops, which makes its debut this time. And then yeah, all the hazards basically, and then try and make him unable to spin them away. But he has the Toxic Croak, which I expected since Vacuum Wave is a good answer for my Chien-Pao. Chien-Pao is adamant with the Life Orb, so we're not faster than Valiant and Cyclosaur. Sword Stance. But I needed to be adamant. I felt like to really be able to break the Dondozo, and even then I don't break the Dondozo super well. I had a dedicated lead in James Bond, the Spite Ops, so, and he leads with the Tauros. He intimidates me. It's whatever. My plan is to just set up sticky web here to at least get the webs up, because if I had webs up, then I didn't need to be and I'm pretty fast on my Skeledirge, so I would outspeed everything even with a Skeledirge at -1. So we see the webs go up and he flame charges, which kind of bad for me, but doesn't really, like, he kills the Spite Ops with flame charge, so got the webs up, but this puts me in a pretty bad position. My Espathra is specs this week, but since this has 2 speed boosts, it's, well, even after 1 speed boost it was faster. So I don't know what Terra type this has, since this is free Terra, so I just go into Espathra. It has to have a Terra type that's super effective versus me to kill me in 1 shot. And I'm just clicking Lumina Crash here to do damage in case it doesn't Terra. Terra Darks, as you can see here. And yeah, basically my Espathra goes down for nothing. But I forced the Terra out of the Tauros pretty early, but at what cost? At two of my mons. And Espathra was one of my more important mons to be able to break the Dondozo. Now my only thing that really breaks the Dondozo is Toast Scroll, and if he gets the Dondozo behind the sub repeatedly, I have a hard time dealing with it. And yeah, this basically forces me into the Skeledirge. You might ask, why are you swapping in a ghost type here? I go for Poison Terras to not take super effective damage from the dark move, is my plan. Incog ends up clicking Earthquake, so he still hits me super effectively even though I Terra Poison, but now basically my plan of keeping webs up and hazard stacking goes out the window completely, because I no longer have a ghost type that can spin block. I click Will-O-Wisp this turn. I am Torch Song, Hex, Will-O-Wisp, and Slack Off, so we Will-O-Wisp here. I kind of needed to Will-O-Wisp because this kind of ran through my team. Earthworm doesn't take like either the fire move or close combat very well. We can see it doesn't have close combat here, and yeah, but I suspected him having the close combat instead of Raging Bolt, to be honest. Worked better for my team. It beat my Toadstool. It beats my Earthworm. It beats my Chien-Pao. Yeah, and this is the last one I have left, so it was my only option. Here I just slack off to get some health back. The Cyclosaur is caught in a sticky web. Slack off. I know I'm not faster than Cyclosaur at -1. I'm just faster than a few other, like, a little bit slower monsters. The Cyclosaur and the Valiant I'm not faster than with the Skeledirge, and he rapid spins the webs away, so basically my spit ops did nothing. And we get a Torch Song boost here. Here he hard swaps. I didn't think much of it at the time of the battle, but I thought he maybe wanted to preserve some health on the Cyclosaur instead of shed tailing out, because the Dondozo felt pretty free. And here again, I don't have a lot of good options to deal with the Dondozo. I'm hoping it's not a rest set, so I'm checking if it's Water Veil instead of Unaware by trying to burn it. Get the burn off, which will mitigate the wave crash damage. And yeah, we're now gonna start going for hexes to ship this down. This is the main thing that stands in the way of my Chien-Pao. I need it to be at around, I didn't have calcs open during the game, but I remembered from building I needed it around between 30 and 40% to have a chance to KO it with a Life Orb Crunch. But we see it's Rest and Chesto, so even though we crit the Hex, it's back to full, which isn't great for me, but it is what it is. I'm feeling like I'm losing the grip of the battle, and my only way to win right now, it feels like, is to just have the Skeletor sit there forever and hopefully be able to wall his team, but he can switch around a lot. Here we burn the Cyclosaur. I was just trying to burn the Dondozo to get passive chip damage. Yeah, we get the burn off on the Cyclosaur. And here I believe he's Shed Tails. I Torch Song. Which, it's a double-edged sword. It's a sound-based move, so when he goes into the Dondozo, we don't break the sub. We just hit the Dondozo directly and do minimal damage. And basically, I thought he'd be Wave Crash, uh, and then a move. Yeah, I thought he'd be Wave Crash, Rest, Sleep, Talk, and I don't know the last move, but he we revealed the Rocky Helmet here. I need to break the sub, and this is basically my last one that actually can break this. We Giga Drain, break the sub, but thanks to Wave Crash Recoil and Rocky Helmet damage ×2 here, I'm pretty happy with the range that the Dondozo is. I feel like even after going down to the Avalanche here, so now it's 6 versus 3, I felt like it was in range of a crunch, especially if I managed to get rocks up once with the Earthworm, but that might be hard. My Earthworm this week was also leftovers, so I kind of right now I see that I'm in a hole here. I hope that I have enough damage on this Dondozo. The point is, if it goes to sleep, I do have a chance to 3-hit KO it with Hex. So I eventually will get a crit, so I should 1v1 it with the Skeledirge. But we go for Will-O-Wisp to whittle it down more if it decides to go for an attack. Or if it goes for rest, then we can just spam Hex. But he switches in Rotom-Mow here, and he goes for Will-O-Wisp on my Skeledirge. We're not leftovers, so we will slowly lose health. This makes it so that my plan of just sitting here with Skeledirge, because I slack off here because I thought, well, he will just Volt Switch out into whatever, and I just want to probably the Valiant. Yeah, I thought he'd Volt Switch out into Valiant and try and kill me that way after the Volt Switch damage. So I try to stay out of range of the Valiant. I was looking at like possible specs or banded, so I needed to be at a like 80% range to not die to those. And then I click Torch Song here, go down to 46. He clicks Hex, and Hex basically tells me I will not be able to stall this out. It does too much damage, even though it only did like 40%, but that plus the burn makes the Skeledirge pretty useless. So I decide to, basically my plan here, I'm clicking Will-O-Wisp because if he switches, great, we maybe get a burn on something. If he hexes, great, he kills the Skeledirge, because I feel I by the damage this Rotom does to my Skeledirge, I know that it won't do over half to my Earthworm, and my Earthworm is leftovers and not Citrus Berry this time. So I really needed to not take more than 50% damage to be able to pass a sub to Chien-Pao, which in my mind is my only way back in the game. So we Will-O-Wisp the turn before this, and I Will-O-Wisp again this turn, but it never came to fruition since he KO'd me with Hex. So now we're down 6-2, and yeah, no hazards up. The entire game plan has gone awry, and we have one Chien-Pao and one Dream, and also Worm that's gonna help the Chien-Pao. So he Will-O-Wisps here. I don't know if I agree with the play. Probably Volt Switch would have been better. But I didn't really know what to expect, but this was best case scenario for me. I felt like the game was lost at this point. I just needed to play to my outs. I shed tail because I know My Earthworm doesn't really do much. Yeah, it still has two fighting types, and it's Iron Defense Body Press set. It doesn't beat the Dondozo. And yeah, so we get into the Chien-Pao behind the sub. And I know that this Rotom breaks my sub with Volt Switch. So I can't let it break the sub, basically. So I'm clicking Crunch here. I have Sword Stance, but I know I can't go for Sword Stance here. I'm just trying to get some differential. My plan at this point is to get some diff. Just a little bit of diff. That's all I'm asking for. So we see we go for Crunch, we kill the Rotom. And yeah, the Rotom goes down. We're still behind the sub, reveal Life Orb. He goes into the Cyclizar. Yeah, he goes into Cyclizar, and I feel like he's like Jotchi Berry or something to come in here, because I haven't shown that I'm adamant yet, but I know I'm slower than Cyclizar. So I thought he might be super defensive with Jotchi Berry and take the hit and Shed-Tail, but he clicks U-turn, doesn't break my sub. I go for Sword Stance because I feel like if he is Jotchi Berry and Shed-Tails, that's fine. If I SD, then I kill him through the Jotchi Berry next time he comes in. And he goes for U-turn, and the burn pays out big by not breaking the sub, so we're at +2 now. And the Tauros Intimidate doesn't manage to go through the substitute, which is great. Here we just click Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword, basically my way of doing damage to a cursed up Dondozo. And oh yeah, Bronze Song as well, if he had Iron Defense up a bunch. Which was one of his possible Terra Captains that he didn't bring. So I'm happy we bring it down to a 4 versus 2. We now have a +2 Chien-Pao behind a sub still. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm still oblivious to that this is Scarf because I'm slower than max speed Cyclizar, so I just thought he was max speed. Yeah, here we click Ice Shard because now I killed through the Jotchi Berry, so there's no need to, or at least I do enough damage so that he doesn't manage to Shed-Tail out. So here we go down to 3-2 up, 3-2 down. I'm still pretty happy. I still, now at this point, I'm believing. I believe that I can. I don't have any calcs up here. I believe this is in range. And I click Crunch here. And as you can see, we miss. We miss out. 4 HP. It was maybe a roll, maybe not. It's hard to say. I don't know Incog's exact set. And he clicks Rest. But since we got the defense drop, we can 2-hit KO now because Unaware doesn't ignore his own stat debuffs. And we have nothing better to do than click Crunch. So we Crunch and he stays in, meaning we get a 2-hit KO here. And I think staying in with the Dondozo was a slight misplay. I don't know if it necessarily mattered. Because I still did around 33%, so I could 3-hit KO it. He had to take 2 turns of sleep and then re-rest. So I think it was a roll. I don't know in whose favor, but I think if he clicked body press there or wave crash, just breaking my sub. In hindsight, at this point I thought it didn't matter because I still think I killed the Valiant in 1 hit with Ice Shard, but spoilers, I will not do that. Basically, had he just broken the sub here with the Valiant, with the Dozo, and then the Valiant would have killed me. But now he has the Toxicroak and the Gallade, the Iron Valiant left. Valiant is the only thing that takes a hit. And yeah, I didn't know it took a hit. I thought I would kill it with Ice Shard, but Ice Shard was my strongest move. I click Ice Shard, doesn't kill, lives on 2. It was probably a roll. His Spirit breaks my sub finally. But at this point, I know that I have the game locked in unless it's Focus Sash Toxicroak. And by the way he's been playing it, I still think it's Focus Sash on the Toxicroak. And he's just been trying to break my sub somehow. So that he can go in and vacuum wave me. I know this has vacuum wave, so I click Ice Shard myself since I don't want to lose to the priority. And with 1 minute to spare, the Gothenburg Sphealers managed to reverse sweep. Well, Incog wasn't really sweeping us. He just outbuilt us and outplayed us at the start of the battle. And yeah, we managed to bring it back with broken move Shed Tail plus broken Pokemon Chien-Pao. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Chien-Pao is broken, Shed Tail is broken. At least I don't know what to say. I got bailed. GG's to Incog. Sorry for the defense drop on the Dondozo. It was pretty big. Match defining. And best of luck in the rest of the season. And yeah, hopefully I've just been rambling, but hopefully you enjoyed this post-com. And yeah, there will be one more post-com uploaded, but for PBA next week. We'll see how it goes. I don't love doing post-coms, but now I'm back home in Gothenburg, so yeah, there shouldn't be any more post-coms. Sven's out. Bye.